Attorneys, former clients, and reporters just like us who once relied on his expertise are now asking, who is Mark Lanterman? Well, to try to answer that question, the Fox 9 investigators obtained never-before-seen video of Lanterman under oath, answering some tough questions about his past. Under oath.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mark Lanterman had to start defending his background 2 months ago.
I have the credentials I claim.
This videotaped deposition obtained by the Fox 9 investigators is from a federal civil trial in Florida, in which Lanterman's firm, Computer Forensic Services, was hired to dig into data files and hard drives.
How do you recover the deleted emails?
Well, I'm not going to say how we did that. I consider that process proprietary.
Over some 6 hours, Lanterman was grilled about his high-tech methods, but also his own higher education.
So you know where you went to college, right?
Yes.
And how are we supposed to know?
Well, because I told you.
Lanterman testified he earned undergraduate and master's degrees in computer science in the late 1980s from the now-defunct Uppsala College in New Jersey.
Do you have copies of diplomas that you earned from Uppsala College?
No.
To the best of your understanding, your diplomas would have been thrown away?
I don't know what would have happened to them.
The attorneys questioning Lanterman in these videos argued in court filings that Lanterman is, quote, not reliable, suggesting that he, quote, falsified his college attendance and degrees.
Mr. Lanterman, can you give me the name of any students you attended Uppsala College with?
Well, I lived with my grandparents. I wasn't close to many people. No.
They could not find Lanterman listed in any of these Uppsala yearbooks, college graduation programs, or any transcripts from the registrar's office now managing the school's old records.
But I'm telling you that if I was going to fabricate a degree, I would have chosen a better school.
The firm that hired Lanterman in the Florida civil case standing behind him, writing in a filing that there is no evidence Mr. Lanterman falsified his credentials. But Lanterman's resume and reputation under growing scrutiny here in Minnesota, where he built his company in part by contracting with local law enforcement agencies. These contracts with the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office worth up to $2 million.
I'm not going to disclose the software applications that we used.
Lanterman, a former police officer, helped recover valuable evidence in numerous cases.
Well, it's my understanding that Mr. Allwine is an IT guy by profession. And IT guys, we have egos. And I think Mr. Allwine thought he was smarter than everyone else.
Back in 2021, Lanterman explained to the Fox 9 investigators how he helped prosecutors convict Stephen Allwine of murdering his wife, connecting the dots in a complex murder-for-hire plot involving the dark net.
I think he's arrogant. And I think that he thinks he can talk his way out of prison. He did it.
But Allwine is now asking a U.S. District Court judge for a new hearing to probe Lanterman's standing as an expert witness.
Have you ever testified in a trial?
Yes.
How many times?
I would estimate about 10 times, maybe 10 to 15 times.
As the Fox 9 investigators first reported last month, at least 10 criminal cases involving Lanterman are now under review by the Hennepin County Attorney's Office to see how his expertise may have impacted the ultimate outcome, including jury verdicts.
This is questions are raised tonight about Mark Lanterman's resume when it comes to his education and work history.
The Hennepin County Attorney's Office will also no longer rely on Lanterman's worker testimony in pending cases. This letter states the County Attorney's Office has been unable to fully verify Lanterman's education and employment background, a resume that once made him a go-to media expert across the country.
Digital forensic investigator Mark Lanterman was previously a member of a Secret Service electronic crimes task force.
Once lauded as a federal expert, Lanterman is now being investigated by the FBI. The feds recently contacting a police department in Pennsylvania where Lanterman used to work.
I was a police officer with the Springfield Township Police Department in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania.
Just days after this adversarial deposition, Lanterman traveled from his Twin Cities home to the Philadelphia suburb to obtain his old employment file that might hold some clues into his background. According to these filings, Lanterman claimed he was suffering from a grave heart condition and needed the file to get his affairs in order. In this email to the Fox 9 investigators, the chief wrote that he is still waiting for the file to be returned despite, quote, repeated requests.
I stand by the truth of my background and credentials.
Lanterman recently defended himself in this on-camera statement, but has declined repeated interview requests. However, he had to answer questions on camera and under oath as part of this civil case out of Florida.
I'm not going to argue with you. I've told you that I have the credentials that I claim. And if you don't believe that, that's your prerogative.
Since we started reporting on Lanterman last month, he is now withdrawn from another federal case where his credentials were challenged. The 60-year-old writing in a court filing that he created his business from absolutely nothing. But it is now time to hand it over to his children. Lanterman's picture and bio had already been stripped from the firm's website on the orders of his son. Paul Bloom, Fox 9.